Welcome to Tommy's Auditorium. And today is November 1st, 2022. I'm on a progression. As a progression is just part of my update in real time. I want to let you know I've been who I am the whole time. So you're born a certain way, and when you're thrown inside a world full of 1,000,000 minds, that also teaches you to hold yourself accountable to yourself and to push yourself to be that one among many. I've been through a lot. I've been gaining myself, battling the gray area theory, being in between. Can't be too good because then I'll have to do something bad. Or if I don't know how to be too good, then how could you ever do something bad to fend it off? If you haven't been taught the real notion of what good is. To speak on good, the word good isn't something to be taken as just blatant, dangerous types of kindness or being nice. Good is holding yourself accountable. Good is standing up for something that's right, something that will cause whatever to flourish right, not cause a danger to you or something else. Good is a person that doesn't bite their tongue. As per se, this society's version of good, which means sit there and say nothing or keep your peace or to hold it in or to just overlook it. The hardest part in place is setting in them standards of don't do this, don't do that, or this will happen. In a normal society type of quota, people live in you can do this to me, but I can't hit you back, or I have to be too good where I can't stand up. And also stand up for myself when you have police officers and people that serve in the army that fight for a cause. A police officer might have to end someone's life, but in order for that to be a peaceful term, they have to do them things. And the term good is something that's going to have to be absolute. People are going to have to come together to a absolute form of good. You never go past the God said don't do this and the bad can do that, and you just keep that going. You got to go past that story. Because yes, through all my ignorances, through all my youth and my growing up and my immaturity, me growing up still poses the same question to what about those outside of me that aren't, that pose the potential threat and danger to my life. Because if I'm fighting not to be a fighter, then I'll be damned if someone comes in my way fighting. Because the uncontrollable rage in that is going to be far more. And to me, that poses greater of a threat. In the same realm as people that's oblivious and stubborn and just lost in that way. Those aren't the people that scare me. You know what I'm saying? And the more good I get, the more mature I get, I become more protective on who I am. And that poses a threat to someone, that does try to compromise that more than when I was young and just ruthless. Because I really hold on to my love. I hold on to that person not becoming like me, because I have to understand that you don't have to always fall. And these failures now are just repetitive. I have this one enlightenment, this one awakening quota that I feel like the world and just society that live in that political norm needs to understand. All the races, from the whites and the black vibe, that whole setting, if they never done nothing, and they would have still been held as good people. What was the whole you had to do this or you had to do that to make somebody be of value? I feel like if the white people hadn't have never done anything, you would have just been good. You would have just been cool. You feel me? Like, you gotta hold those things accountable before you start chasing a failure, because at the end of the day, that's a household name and a household vibe that's been known for doing the most dirt that we all go down for. If you do it, or if you do it, or if you do it. That goes for all races and all people and places, but I'm talking about the American way that holds on to that main subject. You feel me? Sometimes doing nothing makes more than if you do something. You know what I'm saying? Because if they just had it held off as them, and we could have been us, and they could have been them, and we just doing what we're doing the right way. I don't care if it's picking up trash, and at least having an attitude. You would have been held on and pushed forward and catapulted a whole different scenario than what is. Because when you start something, you have to finish it. And that's why we're not looking for no blessings in God. I want you to add a 5G to my network, add a 6G to my iPhone, or God, I want you to add wings so I can fly. It's the norm of what was supposed to be. Flat out. Ground zero type of vibe, what it was supposed to be starting off. Because you have to finish that story. That story cannot go on. And that's what holding yourself accountable for. Because if a man calls himself a man, I don't care what you do, or the vibe you have created, you have to hold yourself accountable and complete the mission and rise out of it. I speak on this from a personal aspect because then I follow those that teach me, and that's not even a signature style of a man. I said, because we own who we are, we own it, and we push forward, and we speak out on that. So we put our foot down on all of that. I feel like as men, in God's image, as every dude walk around with their chest out, like don't do this and I wish somebody would. That should be the literal vibe of everything around here. So nobody would do nothing. But other than that, I want people to take that as the work. Take that as the extra, the energy that makes you who you are. Security is knowing that you might fall so you don't, not avoiding it. This is November 1st. I'm a superhero. Agape love. More positive note. Tommy's Auditorium. You know, life has always been beautiful. Life has always been good. We have to start reconsidering our thought process on how we perceive certain things. We have people asking for something more than what it is. At the end of the day, the earth just needs to be clean. It already is beautiful. It just has to be clean so you can move tranquilly, so you can move safely, so you're able to move the right way, so you can flourish. Same as earth, it has to be clean, it has to be loved and nourished in order to move forward. The hardest and the most gangsterest part of this life is caring that much to keep it from going bad. That's gangster if you ain't never failed and you protected the whole vibe from not. When a good note means that this is all possible, this is all laws. You know, when you see a person, you have to understand the love is there anyway. We live in a life where there are ups and downs, and there are horrible people, and there are good people. You need to recognize the person that's just trying to get by. Shoes may be dirty, have no money in their pocket, talking to themselves, wherever the whole stereotype is. If a person isn't the known horrible, appreciate it. In a day and time when that's just running rampant, you need to appreciate those that actually push forward, because those are going to be the ones that come back and pull up. In order for you to be great, strong means you go looking for the weak to make them strong. Strong does not mean a whole bunch of strong people gather up and call people weak. Real strength isn't bringing out the strength. Real beauty isn't bringing out the beauty. Real love is bringing out the love. Period. Until next time, on a good note, agape love. P.S. The cleanup crew. I want to speak on my culture. I want to speak on me as an African American male. just growing up in my hood, ghetto, I say the gangster stereotype. Talking about people that's vibe, that's culture. I need you to realize that we're on a cleanup crew type of vibe right now. But we grew up with the stereotypes and the people that we seen was carrying themselves, how they carried themselves coming from where we come from. That was them, how can I say, that was in the midst of what they're going through. You know what I'm saying? You need to represent that and to love that, because the struggle is not meant to be repeated and recycled. That's how they got through what they went through. And that respect should be still put in a rest and a peace. You know what I'm saying? Because don't nobody want to actually go through that. If you talk to any triple OGs, any OGs, any person that was really, really with the shits, they're going to tell you that ain't it, because nobody want to be far away from their mom. Don't nobody want to be just far from their family, far from everything. Despite the struggles and situations, the light bills, the food shortages, the low income, that's what made us who we are. And that's what contributed to the stress and to everything that we couldn't control. I can honestly say that half of that is what led to us making mistakes, and just that not being able to be kept inside, going through it. I need you to understand that, to clean that up. The hood shouldn't have, how can I say it? The hood shouldn't have the same reaction as a ghetto or a whole dirty vibe. You got the means to clean it up. It's all meant to show growth. You feel me? I don't want to run back and to go back to where I need to go to, and to be around those that sitting up there just suffocating the vibe and the culture of I'm just gonna live like this. Because that's not how it started. We in a day and time where you need to just overlook all that. You know what I'm saying? You have to clean all that up, so you don't be looking at somebody else who actually has it clean, has it good, and you're sitting there still below when you have the strength to be just yourself. You feel me? I just want a clean up crew type of mindset, because when our majority has us and we're not really all millionaires and all that, I don't think we fall. We just really just lay down. You feel what I'm saying? And all that could be fixed. You put your gangster in cleaning it up, then you can show a growth, you can show a solution, and then your respect comes from your understanding. Remember that, and please recognize that. Clean up crew. Number one.